All right, here we go. You're watching the 49ers Report by Chat Sports. I'm Chase Senior. Hope all of you are having a fantastic start to your week. We're diving into the latest 49ers news and rumors on today's show. But today's 49ers Report presented by a new sponsor here at Chat Sports and on the Niners Report, Aura, all-in-one digital safety security. You don't want to be that person who gets your identity stolen. That has happened to millions of people over the last couple of years. Don't be the next one. You can start your free trial today by going to aura.com/chatsports. It's a 14-day free trial that can cover up to 5 family members. We'll tell you more about Aura coming up here in just a few moments. Here's what we're chopping it up with on today's episode. More Trey Lance slander from the national media from Emmanuel Acho as well as Colin Cowherd as the national media continues to reach for these ridiculous Trey Lance narratives. We'll dive into that and I'll debunk all of these false sayings coming from the national media. Is Jimmy Garoppolo going to stay? According to Sports Illustrated, it looks as though he is in fact going to remain with the Niners. I don't think that's going to happen. And Ray McLoud, could he be the secret weapon for Kyle Shanahan here in 2022? I'll answer that question and take a look at some really fascinating special teams numbers that I think Ray McLeod is going to be able to influence the 49ers with that special teams unit. We start off with Emmanuel Acho. So he said this the other day about Trey Lance, and in my opinion, somewhat disrespectful with what he said about Trey area. He just ain't it. He just don't got it. There's a reason they call him one play Trey, and there's a reason he only started one game last year. He's just not like that. The Niners chose to play Jimmy Garoppolo with a broken thumb over their first-round top 3 pick in Trey Lance. The only reason you don't start is if you quite literally don't have the talent, so much so that you can't start. Now, I got to debunk what Acho had to say on Fox Sports because it wasn't right. Trey Lance didn't start one game last year. He actually started 2. And when the Niners needed to start Trey Lance in a must-win game against the Houston Texans in Week 17, Trey was able to go out there, pick up a win as a starting quarterback in a do-or-die game to keep the Niners' playoff hopes alive. And San Francisco was confident in starting Trey Lance, otherwise they wouldn't have started him. There was also no rush to start Lance last year as a rookie. When he was drafted, he was only 20 years old. He was drafted at number 3 overall because the 49ers realized that Jimmy Garoppolo continued to get injured and they couldn't trot out C.J. Beathard and Nick Mullins with a team that was ready to compete for a Super Bowl because Kyle Shanahan was tired of seeing below-average quarterbacks with his offense. Lance's talent also, Acho, is not the concern. He's 6'4", 225 arms with one of the strongest arms in the National Football League. He's also a dual-threat quarterback who at North Dakota State had a touchdown-to-interception ratio in the lone full season that he played of 30-1 and was also a threat to run the football on the ground. His talent is not the worry. His talent is not the concern. It's him being a green and inexperienced quarterback and him needing to work out some of the kinks of not playing a lot of college football. And the college football that he did play was at North Dakota State, the FCS level. So Emmanuel Acho, you're getting desperate with these takes, brother. I don't mind you on television, but when you say ridiculous things like this, I got to go on the 49ers Report and I got to debunk all of your false theories. So if you believe in Trey Lance, I want to hear from you, and I want to see the faithful show some support for the future face of the franchise. If you believe in Lance, like the video. If you don't believe in Trey Lance, I want you to comment why you don't believe in him. From Emmanuel Acho to Colin Cowherd, Cowherd saying, and he is a former fan of Lance who is no longer a supporter of him as the quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers, he's unsure about Trey Lance because of everything that's been said from the coaches to the players. But the thing is, I'm about to prove Colin Cowherd wrong as well because everybody on the roster, on the coaching staff, is heaping praise upon Trey Lance. So Cowherd on his The Herd radio show said this: at some point, I feel like I'm being sold something here, and this is just my gut because I know the kid and I like him, but my gut is that the Niners don't demand a ton from the quarterback. They don't. It's a very run-centric offense, and it's very, very smartly schemed up. My gut feeling is I've never thought he has a pretty delivery system. I think it's pretty clunky. He struggled with accuracy, and Kyle Shanahan is an impatient guy, and they gave up a lot of picks. And you've got to make certain throws at about a 95% clip, or Kyle is not going to trust you. And my hunch here is that he's not accurate enough. He didn't play a lot in college. He played for a dominant run offense, and they've got concerns, and they just don't want to say it. Can you just play him? Can you give me some tape? Like, why am I not seeing tape? I want to see him play. Why are you keeping Garoppolo? I'm just very suspicious when you keep selling me something. Now, here's the thing about Trey Lance. You see some of the video coming out from OTAs. He has messed around with his mechanics. He's cleaned up his mechanics. He has a tighter delivery system right now, and it's a lot less clunky than it was last year, which is what Colin Cowherd referred to. But this is where we're getting at with Trey Lance right now. We're getting to the point where people in the national media are getting desperate, reaching for takes and clicks. First, it was Matt Lombardo saying that the coaching staff doesn't have trust in Trey Lance. It was Chris Sims saying that the 49ers don't want to play him, and that's why Jimmy Garoppolo is still on the roster. A former offensive lineman for the Denver Broncos said a couple weeks ago that the 49ers are concerned about Trey Lance's arm fitness. That's a term that I've never heard before when evaluating a quarterback. Instead of listening to people who have no idea about Trey Lance's skill set, his work ethic, guys who never actually watch Trey Lance play or watch him practice, let's instead focus on what those who are actually around Trey Lance and see him every day are actually saying about him, because everybody is really excited about what he can bring to the table for this 49ers offense in 2022. You go back a couple months ago to what Trent Williams, who's been able to practice with Trey, had to say about him. You see him run the ball, you see him throw the ball, and you know that's a generational talent. Very complimentary from the best left tackle in the National Football League. How about what George Kittle had to say about Trey Lance recently? And keep in mind, he's best friends with Jimmy Garoppolo. He reminds me the most of Josh Allen. He's got a cannon for an arm. I think he has one of the highest ceilings that I've ever seen before. Dre Greenlaw on the opposite side of the ball practiced a lot against Trey Lance last year, and Trey Lance wowed him. He has the best arm talent I've ever seen, hands down. By all accounts, Lance, up to this point throughout OTAs, has impressed his coaching staff, and he's impressed some of the players on this roster. Pro Football Focus with a report last week that last Thursday, Trey Lance had the best practice that he's ever had as a San Francisco 49er. So once again, let's circle back to the national narrative. Guys who never actually see Trey Lance play, they are getting desperate with some of their takes right now. Instead, I'm focusing on what those in the building are actually saying about Lance and my evaluation of this quarterback prospect. He's 6'4", 225. He has a bazooka and a cannon for an arm. He can complete every single throw on the football field. And I think this 49ers offense in 2022 is going to be more dangerous, more explosive, less predictable, and they're going to push the football downfield more because of Trey Lance's dynamic arm strength, and that's not even accounting for the fact that his mobility is going to add another element to this offense as well. Next up on the show, is Jimmy Garoppolo staying with the 49ers? And Ray McLoud, is he going to be San Francisco's secret weapon here in 2022? All of that is coming up right around the corner. But first, I want to tell you about today's presenting sponsor, Aura. They do a really great job of providing protection for everybody out there who runs into problems like online security, getting your identity taken, online fraud. Aura offers all of these benefits: financial fraud protection, identity theft protection, online device security, because we know that everything lives online nowadays with all of our credit cards and all that stuff. And these family plans from Aura protects up to 5 people. You can start your free trial today by going to aura.com/chatsports. You do more online than ever. Aura does everything and more to keep you and your family safe. A 14-day free trial if you go to aura.com/chatsports. That link is in the comment section and the description of this video. Before we get to Jimmy Garoppolo, I want to hear from all of you in the comment section right now. I want you to get creative with some of your takes down below. Predict Trey Lance's 2022 touchdown to interception ratio in the comment section right now. And I think that he's going to impress a lot of people. Combined, I think he can throw and run for more than 30 touchdowns. It's really the interceptions that are going to be fascinating to me, because he could throw anywhere between 10 and 20 interceptions, and that won't surprise me at all. Ray McLoud, by Bleacher Report, named the 49ers' most exciting offseason addition. That's coming up here in just a few moments. But first, let me hit on this from Connor Orr of Sports Illustrated. He did say in his bold predictions for this upcoming season that he thinks that Jimmy Garoppolo is going to stay on this roster. Just wanted to pass along that report from Connor Orr. I do not believe that Garoppolo is going to be on this team in 2022. To Ray McLoud now, named the 49ers' most exciting offseason addition, which is funny in a way because it goes to show you the boring nature of this 49ers offseason. But Ray McLoud could have a profound impact on this roster this upcoming season for a variety of reasons. According to Football Outsiders, the 49ers special teams unit, the least efficient punt return unit and kick return unit last year in the NFL. They were also 13th, about middle in the pack, in punt return average at 8.2 yards per punt return. And they had the 5th lowest kick return average at less than 19 yards. That ain't going to cut it. Now, the signing of Ray McLoud fell under the radar for a lot of people because it's not like he puts up splashy numbers as a wide receiver, but as a return man the last couple of years, statistically, he has been one of the best punt returners in the NFL. He actually led the league in punt return yards last year, and the 49ers special teams unit a year ago was straight up dormant. You look at the return numbers, 38 punt returns last year for the Pittsburgh Steelers, average yards per punt return at nearly 10. So that puts the offense in a position to put points on the board and gives them favorable field position. 35 kick returns as well for an offense in Pittsburgh that was pretty stagnant. So that's pretty telling. Average yards per kick return of 22.2. Now, if you get a touchback that's 25 yards automatically, if you're actually bringing the ball out and you're picking up about 22 yards, that's pretty damn good for Ray McLoud, because oftentimes he's getting that ball at between the 5 and 2 yard line. Otherwise, he's just going to kneel it in the end zone. Receiving stats, and this is where things get interesting for Ray McLoud. 66 grabs a year ago, or 66 targets, 39 catches, 277 yards, and an average yards per catch of 7.1. Those by no means are enormous receiving numbers. But in this offense, I'm excited to see what Ray McLoud is going to be able to do. And when we talk about this special teams unit specifically, I think Ray McLoud is going to be able to rejuvenate a stale and stagnant special teams unit from a year ago. And I'm really excited to see how Kyle Shanahan uses Ray McLoud as a gadget guy in this offense. He is not a bona fide true wide receiver who you want lining up outside, and you don't want to rely on him to make big plays in the passing game. But what Ray McLoud can bring to the table, he can be that gadget guy in this offense in addition to Danny Gray, a more prototypical wide receiver. But for McLoud, jet sweeps, reverses, bubble screens, find creative ways to get him the football, and he's shown throughout the return game that he can get creative with the ball in his hands, make guys miss, and he has that speed to take it to the house. And keep in mind that he was playing for a bad Pittsburgh Steelers offense last year that lacked a lot of creativity, that had a washed Ben Roethlisberger as their starting quarterback, and I think Ray McLoud is going to be able to elevate his game in this offense with better surrounding and complementary pieces, with a better coach and a better quarterback in Trey Lance as compared to Big Ben, who was clearly at the end of the road last year. Ray McLoud, the 49ers' potential secret weapon coming up in 2022. Where will the 49ers special teams unit rank this year? Scale it for me, 1 to 32. 32 teams in the NFL. Where will the 49ers special teams unit rank in the NFL from 1 to 32? Let me know in the comments section. Also have to give a shout out to my boy Victor Alfaro for the $5 super thanks earlier this week from Sunday's show. You can give us a super thanks if you're watching us after our live show and give us a donation here on the 49ers Report by hitting that heart icon with the $ through it. This is a new feature from YouTube. YouTube, you can donate outside of live videos. Inside live videos, you can just send us a super chat. Outside of live videos, it is called Super Thanks. You see the icon right there to my right. We appreciate all of your support, and any super thanks that we do get here on the 49ers Report, that's good for a shout out because we appreciate all of the support right here on the channel.